Hello, I'm Gabriel, and I've been thinking, what about the vanity of the human race? It seems that a lot of people aren't happy with their appearance and will go to a great deal of trouble to change it. Now, I don't think that an ant ever looks at a spider and says, 8 legs, and I've only got 6. Or an elephant looks at a gazelle and goes, wow, look at the legs on her. And look at mine. I doubt if that happens. It seems that it's only us humans who suffer from this malaise. And I've penned a few words to encapsulate the way I feel about it. And it goes something like this. Many people seem to complain, some because they're genuine and some because they're vain, about some imagined or real feature enhanced or diminished by Mother Nature. Their appearance is their bane, the cause and reason for their pain. Why was I born with this or that? I've seen bigger on a cat. Too light, too dark, brown instead of blue. Whatever I've got would look better on you. None seem to like the look of their face, and this holds true for the whole human race. And nature did not take her duties so lightly. Everything seems to be wrapped up quite tightly. In some parts the tissue is thick, then it's thin, and all sorts of weird gizmos are lurking within, bones and muscles that help make you grin. And the whole lot is finished in designer skin. Now some want to have eyelashes longer than Victorian window sashes, while others seem to all agree that their legs resemble the trunk of a tree. And out of sight but not out of mind, bringing up the rear is that big behind. Breasts a constant cause of complaint. Some you can't see, while some make you faint. Whether they're small, firm or plump, or resemble someone else's rump, they're the things that bring on some shudders. Some girls would like to see their breasts on others. But whether they look up or keep an eye on the ground, at least they're always in the best place to be found. Behinds, bottoms, bums to some. In many sizes and shapes they come. At some you squint, at some you gasp. At a few you stare aghast. And although some drink nothing but Perrier, you ought to see the size of their derriere. But shake off the critics, give 'em the shrug. You do not look like 2 kids fighting under a rug. But I'll come back to the breasts, those primary reasons that along with the legs dictate the next fashion seasons. If you describe yours as yuck or stinks, why not ask first what your boyfriend thinks? Because if nature had made a sizable blunder, and beneath your arms your breasts were found under, imagine the pain and the looks on your faces if you had to walk 10 miles lugging suitcases. But I've concentrated thus far mainly on girls. But men too, from bums to earls, hate that which nature being generous gave them, that which they find so onerous. They too want something different other than that which nature lent. And I use the word lent with confidence, for we must all return to what some call whence. So while we have a loan of this here body, it's ungrateful to call something borrowed shoddy. Imagine how lucky you borrowed, not bought, an item some reckons lacks a whole lot of thought. Now some men pump iron, while for others that's rare. Most of them wind up like a bear with no hair, sweating and grunting to try to develop a punch that can stop a horse at a gallop. They endure incredible torture and pain. It's a great shame that there are no weights for the brain. Now, men worry about most and their minds seldom off. The spot above the place where the doc makes you cough. The pride of their manhood, their ivory tower. Most of them would like to hide in the gymnasium shower. Hardly ever do you hear words of praise, and when they glance down at others, their eyes seem to glaze. And although some would defend it with their very lives, They spend their lives worrying about its puny size. The odd one I know we've all heard brags using numbers quite absurd. And although sight of some cause girls to gasp for breath, none seem to think that it's a fate worse than death. 'Cause if you listen to the old folks you often hear, the important thing that we have learnt, my dear, through this long life of worse or better, whether it's thin or getting fatter, matters not. I'll give you the perks. The vital thing is, after 60 years, it still works. So whichever part of you hate, if you think your biceps are on your mate, and if your stomach drags low on your skids and your appearance frightens small kids, don't despair, straighten up, smile and act bolder, 'cause luckily beauty is in the eye of the beholder.